Well, I wanted to share a few themes. The original impulse that got me on the road and got this event in motion came from a book that I wrote called Sacred America, Sacred World. I try to listen to inner guidance. How is God speaking to me? What am I to do next? And I was very busy last year, and I just got the clear message. You need to get your book out next year. It had been percolating for 10 years, and I had to hustle to make that happen. I got clear it needed to come out on July 5th. And it's about where do we go next as a country? July 4th is our independence. Where do we go? How do we move into interdependence, the next operating system of our country? And so I went on tour, and I also got the sense it was very important for this to be a bridge-building book. That's why I went to the Republican National Convention. It's why I actually reached out to Rich at that point and got his critiques of the book which I integrated, and ultimately he became an endorser. And I feel that it's really important in these times when it's easy to devolve and become more blocked off from in one side or the other to reconnect with the deeper sacred principles of what we've been entrusted with. We have chosen to incarnate for a reason in this country. We are here to steward this country's growth into still another level. We have gone through very dark phases where we are so conflicted with each other to the level of the bloodbath of the Civil War, and there are many examples where things have looked very dark. And it is those times that we have to carry a brighter torch of what tomorrow can look like, because it's a remembrance. And so I want to say that all of us are here tasked with creating liberty, equality, and justice for all. We are all tasked with creating a more perfect union. And it begins with remembering a more sacred relationship with our country that's deeper than the cynicism and critiques and apathy and disgust even that people feel. We have to actually bring our love and our brightness and our wisdom into the political process, and sometimes even our vulnerability about what we care about and what brings us value and meaning. So we have to treat each other with sacred respect and honor, and we have to honor the principles that we've been built on. And I also feel it's important that we recognize, even if we identify with one side or the other, that there is a complementarity of left and right, of conservative and progressive, that are like the two wings of the American eagle that help us fly. And we can't have those wings fighting each other, because the bird doesn't fly if they're at battle with each other. And that's part of where our dysfunction is right now. So I think whatever side we are on, it's really a time of, as we've been talking about today, to really see where are my own biases. On the road, I often told the story of Sarah Palin for me. In 2008, when she first was nominated, she was just like nails on a chalkboard for me. I was like, watched the TV and I was just hating her. And I've done lots of meditation retreats and growth work, and I was, but I was really polarized against her. And so I took it on as a project. Can I find the dignity and divinity in her? Can I find something that I can warm up to? And so I read both of her books, cover to cover. And it was a journey of actually beginning to see and appreciate the world through her eyes and begin to honor aspects of her that I had judged before. And I realized that I had been discriminating against her, that I had bias, that was not ultimately serving. And so at the end of that, I had a dream. Sarah shows up in the dream, and we're like old friends and old buddy, and we hug in the dream. And it was a sign, I thought, that I'd actually made a shift in my soul to no longer demonize someone just because they have a very different worldview than I do. And so I wrote an article about that called Dissolving the Palin Prejudice. And my progressive friends were frankly horrified. But I got a lot of fan mail from conservatives, who probably the first time I'd gotten conservative fan mail, and what they really said was that they'd felt unseen and judged and diminished by the way that progressives were attacking Sarah Palin. So when we go after a political leader, we have to remember that lands as a kind of insult with the people who support that leader or cherish or see them as an example that they want to follow. So we have to be very, very careful in how we move forward with our critiques. And I think it's important that we take a stand for the world we want to see, this what I call America 7.0, the shining light of a global America where there's opportunity for all that really works for all. And I go into that in a lot of detail in my book. But we also realize that everybody here also has a role to play in the creation of that, and the more that we can bridge those divides, the more we can actually find this sacred relationship where the two wings of the bird do fly, and we can actually be the eagle that is flying into a more beautiful future.